Hey, welcome to Podcast from the Pit, special Toy Talk edition with our good friend Ronnie Trickshot. How you doing?
Good. I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Good.
It's the morning for me.
That's right. Yeah, I'll get that right one day. It's just weird.
I don't know.
I messaged and talked to you a lot.
Yeah.
And you live all the way over in Australia. There's
Mm.
people I see every day that I don't talk to, don't care to talk to. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's just weird how you make friends in your early 40s and I'm early 50s.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I guess it's shared hobbies, mutual interest.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And look, I've been listening to you guys since you were a little podcast on Google Play. Hanging out because there was often a massive gap between episodes.
Yeah, we weren't a Johnny on the spot with our episodes.
But no, look, it was fine. But it was definitely one that, when you and Matt popped up, it was one that I always listened to. And then you made the jump to YouTube, and I was like, I need to be involved with that. So there I was in the chat for your first episode, and
You were, yes.
I haven't missed one until the Saturday night just gone. So it's been it's been awesome.
You're missed, not just in the chat, but I mean we love having you on too. So it's always fun. You always make the chat lively. I mean, there's a few people in there who really move the chat along, and sometimes I get lost just reading the chat and laughing to myself when I need to be asking a question to who I'm interviewing. And I was like, I got to throw this up. People got to see this. We get roughly about 20 people a live stream, and love all 20. They're all engaged. It's so fun. Really nice getting up early on Saturday.
It has, and staying up late, but it has been building as well.
I
reckon it was me and someone else. I reckon in the first one, and
2 or 3 for a couple weeks, and then that built up, and people say we're like Saturday morning cartoons, and I'm fine with that. Whatever. Grab a bowl of cereal, sit down on your phone, TV, or computer, and have fun with us for an hour and a half.
For me, it's Vegemite on toast, mate.
I'm gonna try that someday.
I don't think you'd like it.
You never know. I like weird stuff.
You got to be born and bred on that gear, I reckon.
I like some weird food. Stuff you'd be like, no, I ain't eating that.
All right. We'll put you to the test.
All right. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and we're just going to have a normal conversation like we would have any other day.
Yeah, no worries. Easy. I'm up for that.
All right. So let's talk Ronnie Trickshot's childhood. What was the toys that you played with? What brought you inside?
Look, there were 2 go-to toys for me. G.I. Joes. They were the first choice, but obviously when I was inside. But when I was outside, it was cricket. So it was my cricket bat or my G.I. Joes. So when the weather was nice, I'd be sending thunderbolts down on the driveway to my brother. But it wasn't when it wasn't so good because it gets hot here. I would be inside playing with my G.I. Joes, and I'm still doing that. Some 40 odd years later, I'm still doing both. Not sure why I'm still playing cricket because it's horrible. But yeah, no,
you love doing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the cricket thing is a largely social thing. It's about kicking around with your mates after a game and having a beer. I suppose G.I. Joe in a lot of ways is like that for me too. Just making friends all over the world. It's been amazing. So yeah.
Sometimes I have this stream set up to where if I got a bunch of toys I want to open, I'll start hitting people up and see if they just want to talk, not record. Just so I have somebody to talk to while I open and play with my toys, and that's pretty fun too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's I know a lot of the people don't like to use the word community, and I love how Campbell says family. I love that.
Yeah.
Campbell's fun.
Yeah. I don't think Campbell knows how right he is, because
Yeah.
most families are dysfunctional. So community would imply that everyone gets along and we're all moving towards a common
Yeah.
goal. But family would imply that we argue like little brothers.
Yeah,
And
that would
we argue like brothers over toys.
right.
And we're still doing it.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean, each his own.
yeah.
But-
Yeah.
So, my next question:
Shoot.
have you always collected toys from when you was a kid on, or was there an age that you stopped playing with toys, so you stopped buying them? I hate saying collected toys when you're little because we didn't collect them; we just played with them.
Yeah.
I never thought about collecting them.
Look, I'm sorry to admit, I obviously am a child of the early '80s, which meant I was coming of age in the early '90s, and that was about the time that video games were starting to take off. So GI Joes in the early '90s were replaced with at first a Game Boy, and then a SNES, and from there it escalated to an Xbox and an Xbox 360. So I don't game anywhere near as much as I used to, but yeah, when the electronics kicked off, yeah, I was right there with it. So and look, it's a little bit sad. I mean, today when I go to toy fairs and so on and so forth, I see people that are about 10 years younger than me just flicking through copies of old video games, and I think there's not a lot of fun in that. Whereas I've gone back to Joe's, they're not in the around. So, yeah, interesting. So, yeah, I quit GI Joe's when I would have been 11 or 12, and Mum gave them all away, which was unfortunate. And yeah. I say went to cricket and video games. So yeah.
Now, have you ever had a cricket video game?
There's been a few.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been a few. As someone who plays cricket, I didn't often find them any good. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, cricket's an interesting game. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just can't control the ball like you can control it on field with a cricket video game. Like, I mean, you can stick a FIFA in and the ball rolls pretty well the same as it does when you're outside. But in terms of all the little vagaries of cricket and being able to direct your shots and direct your deliveries, no, cricket video games have never been able to replicate that. So, yeah.
See, I've always loved the MLB The Show because I'm a big baseball fan. And I always loved playing that. And I would actually play all 162 games out of that season plus playoffs. I get my money's worth out of them when I was playing.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I can't say I've done the same with cricket. I'd sooner play FIFA than play.
I
play
love
cricket.
FIFA too. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, when you weren't collecting toys, was there any other? I don't want to say obsessions because that sounds terrible, but any other things that you collected? Because I feel like even when I wasn't doing toys, I was still doing comic books.
Yep.
I did a lot of media, like DVDs, Blu-ray, stuff like that. I still have because I like them.
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, into my 20s, just cricket was me, and then Australian rules football. So yeah, for the last 20 years, my life really dominated by building cricket clubs and being involved with football clubs. So I didn't really collect too much else, to be honest. So definitely G.I. Joe is scratching that itch for me in my 40s, because I've been an animal. Since I've taken it up again, I've just been insatiable. Can't stop.
Yeah, when I got back into Joe, I hit the ground running. Buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that.
Yeah. I remember
pretty
listening to
much
those.
Got everything I want.
Yeah. Remember listening to those early podcasts where you and Matt were making a list of the figures that you want, and then you tune in next week and you've got all of them, plus all these other ones that you didn't mean to get, but you got anyway. I think you guys definitely enabled me, encouraged me to do the same. I mean, I think early in your podcasting sort of stretch there, one of you guys wanted a Steel Brigade really bad. I can't remember whether it was you or whether it was Matt.
Me.
But that quickly went to the top of my list after hearing you guys talk about it for a couple of episodes, and there was one in my cabinet pretty soon after that.
Yeah, I finally got one. I think I got it off eBay, and paid more than I wanted to, but not as much as a lot of people were charging for them.
Yeah. I probably paid a bit more than I should have as well, but that was only because I was on a business trip for work, and I went to a toy shop in Melbourne, which is an hour's flight from here. And in going to the toy shop, I met up with the great Adam Howes, Shark Eyes, for the first time. And we had a walk through there. And he was with me when I bought that Steel Brigade. That was the first time I met Adam. So,
Nice.
So it's got that Steel Brigade, obviously it means a lot to me more than just being a Steel Brigade now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the hunt for the Steel Brigade for me, it was a lot of fun. And when I finally felt what I thought was a good deal for one, pulled that trigger. I don't regret it to this day. Not at all.
So many of my figures have got little stories behind them like that. And people ask me whether I'd sell my collection one day. I don't know if I could bring myself to, because almost everything that's standing in that catalogue has a backstory behind it in terms of where I found it, who I was with, what I was doing at the time, the period in my life I was going through. They're all tied to memory somehow, which sounds weird, but they are.
I know me and Matt were talking at work the other day because we work together. And if we ever, trying to remember where we got some, we can just go back to the podcast because we talked about it. I mean, that was the whole premise of the show. Two guys building their collections again. And it was a lot of fun.
It was fantastic. Absolutely it was. That's why I listen to you guys religiously. I can't say it enough. I think we've had this conversation before. So Adam can vouch for me. Though. You got to listen to these guys.
Yes, yeah.
And like when I was asked to come on the show for the first time, like that was just I've said it to you before as well. I felt like a rock star. I felt like I was meeting my heroes. But
we love
just normal guys as well.
That. Yeah, it's so
just normal guys.
We like because we started doing it just because we listened to a couple other podcasts and it sounded fun and we thought we could have a good time doing it. We never have any kind of goal of monetization. I don't ever see that in my future, even on YouTube. But I love the ability to talk to people, put my little opinion out there, and get that interaction with other people who I would not meet or talk to any other way.
Yeah.
And I get to talk about something I want, something I want to talk about. And it's a lot.
Indeed. Yep. It's fantastic. Yep.
Next question.
Shoot.
When did you get back into collecting Joe?
So it would have been about 5 years ago now. A TV show appeared on Netflix, and it was called The Toys That Made Us.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an episode on G.I. Joe, and I sat there and I watched it with my wife, and all of a sudden I was, hey, I had that when I was a kid, and I had that, and I had that, and I had that, and I had that. The TV show was fantastic. I mean, Kirk
Oh
Bazzigian was
yeah.
on it. Yeah, it's just awesome to learn about how the line came about and how it was revived after, going off the rails a little bit at the end of the 60s and 70s. So yeah, I saw that and I was determined, I suppose, to buy the 6 or 7 G.I. Joes that I had when I was a kid to get them back. And
That's the gateway drug. I'm just gonna
yeah,
get the ones I had.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, obviously in searching for those 6 or 7, I found my way into a bunch of Facebook groups. I found my way onto the Yo Joe website and the 3D Joe's website. Found my way into podcasts and YouTube channels. And yeah, I was just swept up in it all. And here I am in 2025 with about 400 figures in my so yeah, put it all down to that TV show. Obviously, wrong time to start collecting too, because the pandemic hit soon after, and pricing on all collectibles went through the roof. And
for sure.
yeah, and so did freight costs. And freight costs out of the States to this day to America, to Australia, are still obscene. So yeah, it's been an experience. Been tough to be a collector in Australia, but a lot of fun too. So yeah.
Now, when you were a kid, were they G.I. Joe or were they
Action Force?
Yeah, Action Force.
Yeah. So I only remember them as G.I. Joe.
Okay.
I think the initial couple of waves, the first couple of years, were branded as Action Force, but then they all came out under the G.I. Joe moniker. So I don't remember a lot of Action Force. And when other Australians start talking about Action Force, I sort of go a little bit blank because I don't know a lot about it, or I don't know as much about it as what they do. But obviously, being from that later sort of run, I don't remember any of them as Action Force, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, you're still a kid.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, you were the youngest person we've ever had on the show.
Oh yeah, then
Wreck Ship's a lot younger.
Yeah. I don't feel like the baby brother anymore. And Wreck Ship's a legend too.
Yeah,
it's testament to how appealing that G.I. Joe brand is. And it's just it's really cool. Yeah.
Right. So I know you don't do vehicles, playsets, stuff like that.
No.
So is there any figures out there that, I mean, normally when people say Grails, it's the Flag, Terradrome, or Defiant.
Yeah.
But what about figure Grails? What's out there that Ronnie Trickshot needs in his collection? And I bet I can name one of them because we've talked about it before.
Yeah. So
throw a couple out there.
Yeah, 1984 Storm Shadow was on the list.
That was going to be my guess.
Yeah. It's just one I haven't got around to buying. And I think the reason I haven't bought him is because he's one that I want to be perfect. So, I don't want a yellow one. I don't want one with a Cobra logo missing. I want one with all the accessories. So I'm being incredibly patient with that. And one will pop up eventually, but I just haven't seen one yet that's at the right price that has everything that I want it to have. So it's probably number one on my list at the moment. In terms of other Grails, I've got a lot of Grails in my collection already, so I'm so blessed. I've got a Tiger Force out back there. I've got a lift ticket with a microphone. So I've got the old 1985 Snake Eyes, and I didn't realize what all the fuss was about until I got that version 2 Snake Eyes and realized, wow, this is a fantastic figure.
Really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think mostly 1984 Snake Eye Storm Shadow is what I really need, but I suppose I'd also be looking to fill out my 82s and 83s. That probably a bit thin. I need a Steeler and a Grand Slam, Grunt even. So
Mhm.
yeah, some of those early ones a bit tricky to get a hold of as well. Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you where you could get them at because
Now feel free.
I do that enough when we're live so everybody else can join in.
Yeah.
But it's only because we want you there someday, Ronnie.
I know you. Yeah, lay it on thick, mate. I know you do it from a place of love. So just like we're always on at Larry about skid mark and so on and so forth. About Eric talking funny. Yeah, my thing is getting this Aussie's ass to Joe Fest. So go for it. Yeah.
So I asked you your grails. Okay,
Yep.
how about, do you have any regrets? Like anything that you wish you hadn't have bought at the price you bought it for, or it was maybe a letdown from what you were thinking it would be?
Honestly, no. I tend to regret the amount of Leonard core figures I've bought. I think you would have seen the video. I have 120 odd Leonard core figures, and the reason I regret buying them is they're a hard resell. So they're a bit of a, I suppose, a white elephant in my spare room. But more than that, I have just run out of room to display anything. So the vast majority of my core figures are in a plastic tub, which is really sad. If they're on display, I wouldn't regret it at all.
Right.
But the fact is, I just don't have the room. Maybe one day I will. And look, I've got a soft spot for core figures as well because they were all part of my childhood as well. But yeah, maybe I shouldn't have gone as nuts on them as I had. I think what it was when I was in the middle of COVID, when I was just so thirsty for anything GI Joe. If a core figure popped up, I'd grab it because it was GI Joe-ish. And now I've got 7 or 8 different variations of the same character, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with them.
I know my wife wanted me just to collect Joe. That's it. She didn't want me to branch off. So, like, when I ordered the Delta 17 figures, the Cosine longbow, the Operation Recall, she's like, "Is that GI Joe?" I'm like, "It's GI Joe adjacent."
Yeah.
I don't know how I stuck Motu in there, but I did.
Yeah, I mean, I think with my wife, I'd be able to get Delta 17 past her. I got all these core figures past her. I think I'd be able to get 3 3/4 figures past her, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many classifieds or Motu figures I could. I mean, I've got one there, but I don't know how many Motu figures I could get past him, mate.
Let's talk about your photos.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's I mean, how'd that all start? I know that's where I first seen the name Ronnie Trickshot. I loved the pictures that was going across Instagram, so I followed right away.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
How did that start? Well, obviously, my involvement with the football club led me to buying a camera. I work in marketing, so I'm pretty creative, pretty artistic, and bought a camera to take photographs of footballers, and have become quite prolific with that. Take hundreds of photos a week of footballers at football matches, and made a lot of friends through doing it because footballers love having photos taken of them. But what would happen on Facebook is that anytime there was a viral video doing the rounds of someone doing action figure photography with special effects with fire and smoke and dust and so on, I'd be tagged in these videos. It got to the point where I'd be saying to people, "Look, I've been tagged in that 4 or 5 times before. Thanks, but yeah, see that." But in seeing all of that, I thought, "Oh mate, well look, I've got all these figures in my cabinet, and I like photography, and I've learned how to edit photos. And look, editing photos these days is way easier than it used to be. You can get apps to do all sorts of stuff. And I thought, well, I've got to do something with these thousands of dollars I've plowed into these 3 glass cabinets in my spare room. So I just one afternoon I grabbed an ice cream container, an old ice cream container, put 4 or 5 figures in it, and ventured into the front yard and with my phone and took some photos. And I've been doing that ever since. So yeah, I think it just took off. I just started posting on Instagram, and that was so the Ronnie Trickshot page was my actual Instagram page. So that just documented my life like anyone else has an Instagram account. I started taking photos of G.I. Joes, and then it just exploded. So I cleared out all of the personal stuff, and Instagram for me became about my G.I. Joes. So
I never even open up my Casey one anymore. It's just podcast from the pit. That's all I do. That's all I deal with on Instagram.
Absolutely. The other thing that happened was my wife bought me a little studio from Kmart, a little photographic studio with a LED light in it. So when that happened, I started to think about how my feed was sort of how it looked overall. So if you come to my page, there's a checker plate sort of design. So yeah, I sort of wanted to, really curate my feed, make the figures the showcase, and then in other things just do creative things in my backyard. So so it enabled me to do things inside and outside. So it was an all weather sort of a hobby.
I know. I really like the ones where it's just a figure and everything else is white. I love that. You were telling me it was easy, and I'm just like, okay, it's freaking cool. I like it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is easy. I'd be happy to show you. Yeah, absolutely. I think the best thing about those is like it brings back memories for other people who are looking at them. So, it's been wild. I can't complain at all about my Instagram. It's been fantastic and opened up so many doors for me too. So, yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah, I totally enjoy your pictures, and I know you helped us out when we had a couple photographers on too. I mean, you just were there with the spot on questions that I wouldn't know to ask. So,
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in photography. I was just more interested to know.
Yeah. I mean, put you next to me. You're the expert.
The hardest thing is shaky hands. I think as we all get older, our hands shake a bit. So, trying to come up with some way of, and then figures blowing over in the breeze. That's hard as well.
Yep.
I don't know how some of the guys do it. Like Mate Mylar, sets up these massive dioramas with hundreds of figures.
Yeah, I mean, he does everything inside. He's got a room just for that.
Yeah.
We had him on one time, and it was he was telling me how he makes the explosions and everything. And I'm like, how does people even think of that? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
I would never would have came to me to do that.
Absolutely. They're the real experts, mate. I'm just out in my backyard with some figures. I suppose, and you know what? That's what I want it to stay as. Like I want people to know that's easy. It's easy to just grab some figures out of your drawer, out of your cabinet, and then just go into the backyard and make them look like they're in a battlefield. It is so easy. It is, and it's so much fun too.
Yeah. It's like a legit way to play with your toys.
Absolutely.
I mean, part of me just wants to sit down and play Joes like I did when I was a kid. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, taking the photos is sometimes like that though. Like you're trying to come up with a story. So yeah, and the stories just come to you when you're in that environment. I took a photo the other day of Asian faces taking a breather and removing his mask, and I thought if I put him at the corner of this brick This looks like he's about to run around the corner of a building. It's just little things like that. They just come to you when you're in the moment. But I suppose the hardest step is the first step, just taking that walk out the front door to have a look around. Getting motivated is it's rough at times. Yeah.
Yeah, motivation's rough. So, to veer away from toys for just a minute.
Do it.
What is your all-time favorite TV show?
Oh, wow. Oh my. That would be a tough pick. As an adult or as a child? That's probably what I'd count it with.
All time.
Oh man. Look, I loved Breaking Bad.
It was really good.
Yeah. And then obviously Better Call Saul. So those two, something about them. The way Albuquerque looks, it just reminds me in a lot of ways of Adelaide. Just hot, dry, desolate. And look, let's be honest. I grew up in a place where a lot of people were down on their luck. So yeah, something about that show it just rang true with me, I suppose. And the fact that Jesse, Aaron Paul's character Jesse, was the same sort of age as me at the time as well. I think it all just sort of just really struck a chord when I watched it. So yeah, that's probably number one.
I tell people that Breaking Bad is pretty much the perfect TV show.
Yeah.
All the way around. Way it's shot, written, acted. I mean, it'd be hard to get a better show than that. And Better Call Saul was pretty good too. You are right.
Yeah. I loved them both.
Yeah. I've watched way too much TV in my life, so it'd be too hard for me to answer that question because I get on little where I got to watch all these, then I got to watch all these, and
I've watched so much too.
Yeah. Yellowstone's really good.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that at the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm up to season 5. But all of them, 1883, 1923, all good.
Yeah.
So many honorable mentions. I loved Deadwood. I loved Hell on Wheels. I don't know if you've seen Hell on Wheels.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
But also Boardwalk Empire. Huge fan of Boardwalk Empire. Game of Thrones I loved as well. Mad Men. Watched a lot of Mad Men. Being a marketing man, Mad Men was Vikings. Travis Fimmel is probably one of Australia's greatest exports. Watched so much TV.
Have you ever seen the show Banshee?
No.
Yeah.
Look it up.
It's got I always tell people it's the greatest show you've never heard of.
Okay.
It had 4 seasons on Cinemax.
Yep. All right.
It's got the guy who plays Homelander in The Boys.
Oh,
he's the main guy in it.
Yep. He's a Kiwi, I reckon. Yeah.
It's a twisted show and it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Check that out.
Check it out. All right. He was in a show in New Zealand called Outrageous Fortune, I think, which may have been remade for American audiences. That's where old mate Homelander come from. I can't remember his name. Yes, but
I think it's Anthony Starr.
Sounds about right. So Banshee. All right, mate. Mental note.
Yeah, it's great.
I'll get to it.
Well, it's got a lot of violence in it.
Oh. Yeah, well.
But most of the shows you mentioned had a lot of violence in it, so I think you'd be fine.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Not much doesn't these days.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, growing up in Australia, you got your G.I. Joe toys, you played cricket.
Yep.
What kind of stores? Like, I know for me when I was a kid, I would go to like Hills Department Store, Target. Yep. That's where I got my toys at. We had a Children's Palace and a Toys R Us. So I love those stores. What kind of stores did you have to go get your stuff?
There was 4 main department stores, Kmart and Target, and I think Australia's end up being a little bit the opposite of America to this day. So Kmart here is massive, and Target's failing badly. I think it's the opposite over there. Is that fair to say?
For sure.
Yep. There's Big W, which is like, how would you describe Big W? Maybe it's Walmart without the food stuff. And then there was John Martin's, which was a local department store. John Martin's used to run the Adelaide Christmas pageant, which is pretty world renowned. I don't know if you've seen footage of the Adelaide Christmas pageant, but it's worth having a look. So they were the 4 department stores. They all stocked G.I. Joes. We didn't have Toys R Us until the 90s, which was interesting. But we had a little specialty shop called Toy World, which still exists to this day, I reckon. And they tended to sell a fair few G.I. Joes. And then the core figures, you could find them anywhere. They were in all the dollar shops and the little souvenir shops and so on. So yeah, that were probably the main sort of outlets. We didn't have a lot of choice. Yeah.
I know Toy World.
Yep.
I never even heard of Toy World until I was watching the Toys That Made Us. It was the Masters Universe episode.
Yep.
And they were talking about they were the first of the big stores that they pitched Motu to.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, interesting.
It's a good episode.
Yeah. I don't know if I watched that one. Probably have to watch it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch all the Toys That Made Us. I mean, I didn't watch the Barbie or anything like that. But I mean, I watched quite a bit. The Transformers, the Star Wars, the Star Trek. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles is the one that I probably, the other one that I watched. I liked. I didn't have any Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, but certainly was a fan. That was just.
I know Matt is starting to get some Ninja Turtles. I'm like, I don't own any. I probably better not buy one because I won't buy just one.
Yeah. It's been an amazing, enduring franchise, that one. Yeah. Same with Transformers. I don't know why G.I. Joe hasn't been able to keep up. It's been, maybe it's just the military aspect of it that's on the nose.
I would guess. I would guess to get that.
Yeah.
But G.I. Joe needs something to help the franchise along. I know they tried with the Operation Blackout. That was a flop.
Yeah.
They need, in my opinion, a O2 Revolution type show on Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that would help.
Yeah.
And they also made a version of Master Universe geared towards kids. They need to gear some G.I. Joe towards kids because once we're all gone, G.I. Joe's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not marketing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd hate to see that. I've loved G.I. Joe for over 40 years. I'd hate to see it just die and go away forever.
Yeah. The reality is, I think we grew up in the greatest era ever for toys, and what drove that was the fact that kids were playing with toys. Now, I don't know if they do that as much as they used to. When I see kids, and I don't have kids of my own, but when I see kids in their natural habitats, they're usually on an iPad. Let's be honest.
Playing video games or iPad or their phones. It's I'll take my family out for dinner, and they're all on their phones to all dinner. I just want to spend time with them, but all I see is the top of their heads as they're scrolling.
Yeah. So sad.
It is.
Yeah. Interesting times we live in, Matt.
Yeah. Everybody, like, kids want to grow up. I want to regress.
Yeah. I know.
So, Ronnie's all-time favorite G.I. Joe.
Oh, I've never had a succinct answer for this question. It's like Sophie's Choice to me. Like the cabinet is full of GI Joes I love. Like, there's not many that I don't like.
Right. I wouldn't buy them if I didn't like them.
Yeah,
that's the thing. There's figures I won't buy.
yeah. I mean, that's probably an easier question to answer. Which ones don't you like? I don't like Ninja Force Scarlet. I mean,
that's terrible.
Yeah. I still own it, though. I still own it. Yeah. No, but look, I think obviously I've got a soft spot for a few figures. Dial Tone was the first figure I had when I was a kid. So he's real sentimental sort of value to me. Along with the Frag Viper from the Cobra side of things. Frag Viper was one of my childhood Joes. Just something about that helmet that makes Frag Viper mysterious to me, you know.
He's underrated. Frag Viper is underrated. I might even buy the classified version when it comes out. That's how much I like Frag Viper.
I definitely am. I'm not a classified collector, but I saw the photos and I thought, yeah, got to do that. And then there's Salvo. Salvo was another one I had when I was a kid. So something about that Ride of Might on his T-shirt. So, it was just so cool. Obviously, Xandar has become my spirit animal. So I love Xandar. And the reason I like Xandar is because he is not well liked. I guess I look like him a little bit. But he's always been one of those characters that's sort of ignored, a little bit ignored. He's the lesser of the Zartan, Xandar, Zorana trio. So I suppose Xandar is my spirit animal. I hope that goes some way to answering your question.
Well, I don't have to ask favorite Cobra now. So
No, Frag Viper is probably my favorite.
Cobra. I'm a big fan of a lot of the Vipers. I think G.I. Joe really knocked out of the park with Troop Builders.
Absolutely, they did.
So they did such a great job. Night Vipers, Alley Vipers, Frag Vipers, like Televipers,
Yeah, even just the Viper.
There's
something iconic about that, and the Cobra soldiers, like they're just, and then to recolor them. There's Python Patrol ones. There's a Stinger Driver. There's a Crimson version. They were just the army builders were A grade, and they're so expensive because people do build armies with them.
They do. Yeah. It's like Crimson Guard. I think I've got 4 Crimson Guardmen. I really like that figure. I want to army build it, but I think 4 is where I'm going to stay for a while because they're all like $50 a piece.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got 100 version 3 roadblocks, hey? Funny stuff.
So I know I probably asked you this question the first time you were on.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like my answers change. I used to say supernatural all the time, but now I think I'd like to see other toys made.
Yeah.
But out of any movie, TV show, cartoon, or book series, what would you like to see a toy line made out of that Ronnie would be like, I got to get those? Yeah, and what scale would you want them in?
Yeah. My favorite TV show when I was a kid was MacGyver. I'd love to see a 3 3/4 MacGyver line with MacGyver himself, with Dana Elcar, Pete Thornton, a balding, rather rotund Dana Elcar. I'd love to see a MacGyver line. There's a couple of characters in there. Terry Hatcher, she was in a couple of the movies with MacGyver. I'd love to see a MacGyver, maybe a Cuba Gooding Jr. figure, 3 3/4 inch. So, And who was the other guy? He was the pilot in MacGyver. I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, I don't know. Someone tell us in the comments who the pilot was in MacGyver. But yeah, there's definitely. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Oh, and Murdoch. Murdoch obviously would be the bad guy in that toy line. So I don't know if you remember Murdoch. He always used to die and then come back. So yeah, I'd love to see a MacGyver toy line. Bring it on.
Right, so we're wrapping up, and just tell us a little bit about your channel, what you got going on there.
Yeah. So for the longest time, I wasn't concerned with cranking out too much on YouTube, despite the urging of a number of friends. It is pretty labor intensive running a YouTube channel. To be honest, I mean, there's no way around it. And it's labor intensive from the point of view that you can pour your heart into something and not get a huge response to what you're chucking up there. The odds are rigged against you. It's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. The other thing is I also do it for a living. So to a large extent, if I'm using all of my creativity at work from 9 to 5, the last thing I want to do is chuck a couple more hours at that kind of thing when I get home. So I'd put it off for the longest time. Then I obviously started doing live streams around the place, of being the guest on live streams, which sort of sucked me in a bit. And I think at one point I just thought I'll have a crack at it, and just I think it was a general malaise with a lot of content on YouTube that actually encouraged me to start doing YouTube. I just find that a lot of YouTube is not about the Joes.
Yeah.
They seem to be sort of just. I mean, clubhouse hangouts are fine, and weekly shows where blokes talk about themselves a lot. They're fine as well. But it's not what I was looking for when I started getting into collecting. I wanted to know everything I possibly could about G.I. Joes. I wanted to see the figures, feel the figures. I wanted to know what their names were, what years they came out, what their backstories are. So when I got into YouTube, it was more about just showcasing my collection and finding a funny way to do that. And I think the live streams that I do with Adam reflect that as well. We just come up with a funny sort of a concept, and that gives us a way to showcase the figures, which is what we're here for, really.
Right.
So initially, I was just recording short videos, I suppose, 8 or 9 minute videos on simple concepts. Like these are my favorites. These are my favorite Joes that are red. These are my favorite Joes that are black.
I like that series though.
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't want to take up too much of anyone's time. And look, the response has just been amazing. Everyone warned me that it would be difficult, but from the couple of hundred subscribers that I've got now, I get so many views on each of the videos that I put up, and I don't do it with any level of consistency. Just do it when I've got some time, and everything is so well received, and it's good. So I'll probably keep doing it. I'll probably record something this afternoon because I've got the day off, and Campbell sent me some stuff from New Zealand, so I wanted to show that off. I suppose that's the other thing. I wanted to make friends, so I mean, I don't know. I'd let let the big channels be the big channels. I was I suppose looking for something a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more fun.
Right.
Meeting some people, making some memories, making some friends. So yeah.
That's why I tell people that Podcast from the Pit's never going to be one of your big shows. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I love when I get a new sub. Got one today, and I was like, yay.
Yeah.
So whoever you were, thank you. You made my day. But just echo what you said. Just has been such a good outlet to meet other people. To like what you like. I mean,
Absolutely.
if I wasn't doing YouTube, I wouldn't know Ronnie Trickshot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know exactly what you mean. Look, cricket is the same. And I say to all my cricket mates, make friends while you're out here because the cricket won't keep you out here. Cricket's a horrible sport and you'll never be any good at it. But if you can make friends and enjoy a beer after the game, that's what will keep you around. So G.I. Joe is exactly the same for me. YouTube G.I. Joe is the same. I mean, always going to come across some people that rub you up the wrong way. Always not going to get quite what you want from it. So if you just start out just looking to make friends, I mean, it's going to keep you around. So
I know we finally got talked into doing live streams. At first we were just doing pre-recorded videos like we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
And they're like, do it live. And I'm like, nobody will watch. Because I watched a couple friends of mine do their first one. And it was just me and one dude in the audience. So even though I was tired, I felt like I had to stay for the whole thing because, my friend's excited to be doing his live stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just what you do for friends.
Yeah.
I mean, you stay up all hours of the night to be a part of ours, and it means a lot to us. Even when you're not here or in the chat, you still get talked about.
Yeah, I saw that. The first one I've ever missed was the other week when Campbell was on, and that was disappointing in itself because Campbell was really excited. I wanted to watch to support him, and catching up with the replay, you guys dropped my name 3 or 4 times throughout, and I thought, when I'm not there, but
we just want you to know you're missed when you're not there.
Oh, thanks, man. I do appreciate it. But look, I'm only there because it's fun. I mean,
it is fun. I mean, we have a good time. We're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I get that. We're not going to sit there and drop breaking news. Yes, I will bring up Motu probably every episode, but I don't stay on the topic long.
Yeah. It's just like I said, when I got in collecting, it was about hearing about the figures, putting those figures on the list that you want to get. That's what I was hungry for. And still like that.
We'll do a pre Joe Fest show where we talk about what we're looking for. We'll do that again this year. We do it every year. And when we get back, we'll say what we accomplished. It might not be everything we wanted, but we do accomplish some things and get stuff that we didn't know we wanted.
Okay. Just make sure you do a lap of the building before you buy.
I almost made it last time. Almost. But if I come across some Power Toy Action Force for a good price, I'm probably going to scoop those up. It's going to be different this year, though. We have a table. Podcast from the Pit will have a table. There's going to be like a row of podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got one. Gary, Chaplain System Motorpods got one.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Which we're going live on his show Saturday night this week. So,
that'd be very cool.
But this will be aired after that, so don't pay attention to what I'm talking about. maybe just if you can check out Chaplin's Assistant Motorpod.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good watch.
Yeah, I definitely try to, and when he goes live, I definitely try to be there and drag some Aussies in there with me.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about yet. I'm pretty sure some Super 7. with their
Oh,
O-ring releases coming out. So,
yeah, that'll be good.
Ronnie, I think I'm talked out. Thank you so much for doing this.
No worries. Anytime.
Yeah,
Good.
we trying to build up a few, then they'll get released. Trying to have a weekly
Yep.
drop like this. So, and
Yeah,
you're number one on the list. You'll be the
Oh.
first one.
Oh.
We got Adam Struck Eyes. He's going to
Yeah.
do one with me.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Lawrence from A Punk with Toys is going to do one.
Good cat. Yep.
Yep. And Gary from Chaplin System Motorpod is going to do one.
Of course.
So that's my 4 I'm going to have done before I drop my first one. So that way I can work on more after that. And it's an extra hour a week that I get to talk about stuff I want to talk about. Trying to make up for the 40 plus hours I work.
Everyone's a winner, mate. It's
Yeah.
yeah. That's an awesome idea.
But thank you again. Is there any you want to plug any other shows for people? Maybe they should check out.
Oh, definitely. Podcast from the Pit. If you've stumbled across this for the first time and you like what you saw, go back and look at the entire back catalogue. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, obviously check out some of Adam's stuff if you're into modern toys. He does reviews quite frequently on his channel, and he's one of my mates. He's different to me in a lot of ways, but a lot of ways the same as me.
That's why you guys do so well together, because you are different, but you see the friendship, it comes across, and that's what makes when you guys do live so fun.
Yeah. Oh, look, we have a lot of robust conversations too. Don't worry about that. We often put the brakes on each other. But yeah, he's never. He's always supported me, always encouraged me, and it helps meeting people in person too, doesn't it? So, yeah. And then obviously Kiwi Campbell is one of life's gentlemen. He wouldn't say a bad word about anyone, and he just does what he loves doing, and that's tinkering with things on YouTube. So
speaking of MacGyver, the way he can make stuff, it's insane.
Yeah. Actually, the Australian community is really cool. So Zazel's running around, Zazel's Clubhouse, Nate the Retro Tinker, Phil Treasures for Trigger. He's not Australian. He's actually Kiwi, but we'll claim him.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of good blokes running around this neck of the woods. So I should encourage everyone to check out an Aussie or check out a Kiwi.
Check out all of them. Yes, definitely. The Barracks podcast, where he's got his brother Quentin on there.
Yeah.
Those are great too.
Oh, I remember when Quentin first came onto YouTube and he filled in for Adam one night on one of our live streams, and it just took off for Quentin from there. So I'm like a proud dad every time I see Quentin on a live stream, because he's a ripper, that guy.
His macho man voice is so great.
Oh, it's just so fun. Those brothers, they're unreal. Yeah.
And I always tell people, you'd be really hard pressed to find a nicer person than Campbell.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing. He just sent me a custom, so he did a custom with me. There's Office Ronnie with my headphones and my laptop. So that's what I usually kick around in at work. Black shirt, black pants. So yeah, my doppelganger no, it's not blowtorch, it's Charborough. So yeah, he's done a great job. Yeah, what a legend. Yeah. Right. So many good people around.
I hope everybody enjoyed this talk with Ronnie. Let us know what you think, what you want to see. And as always, thanks for listening. Take care.